And welcome, everybody. We have some more people signing in, so welcome, welcome. This is really great. I am really just the guest today, so I'm turning it over to my host, my wonderful host, Samantha, who is really my right hand and my left hand in real estate. So she's involved in all facets of my real estate business. So I'm really fortunate to have Samantha on board. And this is a new program, right? You're turning the tables and you're asking me questions. So take it
I'm
away.
I'm excited. Well, thanks. I think we're right at 10, right on the dot. That was good timing, Brett. So our title is Selling with Confidence, Avoiding Common Mistakes. I just want to welcome everyone. Thanks for letting me give this a shot. I've been telling you forever that we need it to do something like this where we
Okay.
ask you all the questions. We are recording this, and for everyone listening, I know some of you are repeat viewers, and we love that you keep coming back to learn more. They these all of Brett's ABCs of senior housing are recorded. We call them encore presentations. They're on our website. You can access them anytime. Um, and I think it actually, you go on our website and then it links you to our YouTube channel. So whatever way you want to find them and watch and get answers to any of your questions, they're there.
And there's
So
15 of them, right, Samantha? I'm
this
just
is
like,
number 15 today.
okay.
Yep. So we're doing good. We started this during the pandemic because we couldn't go out and meet the public, and we thought they still have questions, and everyone knows that houses were selling like crazy. So this was an opportune subject matter, I think, that we took advantage of. So I like that the tables are turned today. We're going to ask you a lot of questions. What
Okay.
to know before selling your longtime home? And I know we say it's the senior housing, but it's honestly for anyone. If you're adult children with senior parents and you're helping them or planning ahead. So we hope you dropped your location in the chat. I'm just going to slide over. I know all about Brett. Lucky for me. I'm going to actually minimize this so hopefully you all can see what I'm sharing so you can read a little bit about Brett. But I would like you to share with the viewers just a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so my story starts it- pre-real estate really is where I started academically. So I'm local I've lived in this market area my entire life, and I've gone through all the public schools and graduated from Conestoga High School, and then went on to Temple University for undergraduate degree in business, and then I continued to get my master's in accounting with a minor in taxation at Drexel. And during that time, I did a work study where I went to work for a company called SEI, and I worked in the financial services industry. And fast forward, my brother partner offered me a cell phone when I was literally number, I think, 100. If anyone on the call knows a company called Metrophone, I was the 100th client for Metrophone. Like no one had cell phones, and that was how he got me. He was really busy. He said, "I need your help," and I'm like, "Okay." And a cell phone, like that's why I did what I did, and then I started buying real estate, investment wise, before I was actually selling, and then of course the rest of the story is I've done all kinds of things in real estate. And I wrote two books. There's one, I don't know if you can see them in the background, but my latest book I literally just finished. And that's been a lot of fun. I do a lot of speaking. I haven't done it recently, but I've spoken a lot around the country on real estate and technology. And I do all kinds of other things in the real estate world. Primarily, my focus now is senior housing because I've been doing this so long. I'm in multi-generation clients, so I continue to help my clients. I have all kinds of real estate degrees, and I'm in a lot of featured in a lot of newspaper articles and radio articles. I've been interviewed on all kinds of programs. I was on the front page of the Philadelphia Inquirer once for when we started using our virtual reality. I'm an early adopter of technology for real estate, and I love what I do. So,
That that's for sure.
yeah.
I wanted to ask you, like, I know it wasn't intentional that you have so many senior clients, but what inspired you to focus on the longtime homeowners selling their home?
So the longtime homeowners have they're usually stressed the most, okay? So I realized my ability, my kryptonite, if you will, was I could help them, and I developed a whole series of things that we uh, created to help our senior home sellers. Like we can provide all kinds of equipment, like to help them. For the one thing that strikes me is I had a client recently, and they were moving to a senior facility called Dunwoody, and they were on this list for, I don't know, 10 or 12 years to get in. And that's how, there's a big backlog at some of these
Yes.
facilities. And they called me. They actually came to a workshop. The next day, I think they called me and said, "We just got called from Dunwoody. We found a place we need to sell." I went out to look at the house, and I got into their basement, and there was this, standing water in the basement. And I was like, well, we can't sell the house with that. And this poor person was like so overwhelmed with moving, and there were some memory challenges and all kinds of other issues. And I said, you know what? I'll just handle it for you. And basically, I analyzed it, figured out where the water was coming from. We called a handyman, we got that fixed, and I brought in all kinds of equipment to ventilate the space, and then we were able to get the house on the market and sell it very quickly. And those homeowners were ecstatic because it was just something they were overwhelmed as it was, so I just helped them with that.
Well, lucky for me, I know that that's a true story. I witnessed it firsthand, and so many of your Google reviews have similar, what am I going to say, like testaments to your, the help you provide. And I have been doing this for 19 years, and I know that not all agents are created equal, is what we say. I promise you that's true. There are agents that get you to sign and you never hear from them again. And Brett stays with you and he helps. And I think you really enjoy it. And I know, like, Michelle and I really get involved with, oh, Brett, this person called and we have to help, or there's a problem here, like the water or the gutter issue, or the painting or the siding on the exterior of the home. So yeah, I know you do a great job with that, and they appreciate you, and just keep doing it.
Thank you.
Yeah. So now here's a little bit about our team. And I just want to say we really do pride ourselves on working together, and we really are the definition of a true team. Like, each one of us has a role. It's, we're whatever we're good at, we stick to. And I guess the reason is Brett doesn't want anything to fall through the cracks. We're always trying to think 10 steps ahead. But like Brett said, I'm his right hand, and he calls me the creative force behind the scenes. Then we have Brent Erickson, who is having a record-breaking real
Oh
estate
my
career
gosh.
with us.
Yes.
Once he joined the Brett Furman Group, he took off. But he brings like energy, professionalism. He has like great insight because he's an investor as well. So he can see like different sides of a real estate deal. Brett says boots on the ground expert. That's his nickname for Brent. And he couldn't join us because he's actually hosting an open house right now, or
Yeah.
writing an offer. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It's only
He's actually
10.
writing an offer. He
Okay,
told me
he's
we
he's writing an offer at 10:08 in the morning, but then he's hosting. So, and then we have Michelle Brown, who is fortunate enough to be on vacation today, and we didn't want to make her work on a Saturday while she's trying to enjoy some R&R at the shore. So she manages all of the moving parts, like start to finish, and tries to stay one step ahead on everything. So that's about Brett's team. There's lots of other people that help us behind the scenes, but we're
yes.
the we're the we're the four that you're going to get the most,
Yeah.
see the most and hear about the most. So, okay, this sets us apart. And I'm just going to throw this little plug in. Um, if you want to pull out your phone and scan this and enter your property info right now, you can. And it's really cool because there's an adjustable scale. You know your property better than anyone else. So you can scan this and enter your property address, or even if it's one of your investment properties, or your parents' home if you're watching. Like for me, I always throw my dad's address in. He's probably sick of hearing me tell him about it, but I love to use him as my little guinea pig and see how the values have changed. And so Brett, how does this help someone get started? And
Okay.
then how do you fit this like into your approach? I know you always encourage people to do this. I guess what, just to get a little reality check, or
Yeah, so this is a really interesting uh, part that we have. We work with some investment companies around the country, and the way this program works is for some of our clients that don't want to go through the process of marking their home and showing the home and everything, we can bring them cash offers. And these are hedge funds, and some of the companies are like companies like BlackRock, or these are large capitalized companies that buy homes. Now, you have to understand this is a business for them, a profit-making business. So you're never going to get the highest possible price using this type of strategy. But for some people, it makes sense, right? Some people that maybe inherited a house or just need to move tomorrow and can't wait to get their house sold. They just want to get a check and they're good to go. The other piece to this puzzle is that this 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 technology produces like four algorithmic values of your home, which is kind of a starting point for pricing. Try to figure out about what your home's worth, and it gives you the ability to make adjustments. So if you have a swimming pool, or you have a finished basement, or you want to talk about, there's a slide bar and you can adjust it. Most of the other algorithms don't give you that ability to make adjustments to it. The value is the value, right? So clients use it for a whole host of different reasons, and it's been super popular, you know, but I will say that it's this strategy of an instant offer is not for every client, right? It's just for specific use cases.
yeah, we know it's very popular in other market areas, like the main line or suburban Philadelphia isn't really ready for this yet. And I think that's good job security for us at this
Yeah.
point. But I'm going to slide over to the next thing, which is our home concierge service. Again, I'm just moving our picture so that everyone can see the screen. So hopefully, if there's any issues, please let us know. Again, this is my first time driving, so I do apologize. Um, Brett has this free service. He's been doing it forever. I can't tell you how many calls we get asking, um, for what it could be anything. I mean, we have like calls for elder law experts, or we tax assessment experts, but also painters, landscapers, you name it. Brett knows somebody, or he will reach out to his network of other realtors and find you the expert you need, like maybe a specific style fence on an estate out in Chester County. I don't know, but we have this free service. It has helped so many people. And I wanted to let you know we've had recently clients give us recommendations for people that Brett should add to the service. Please share them with us. We're happy to put anyone that you think deserves to be on this, vendor list. We'll add them. We will also, I'm sorry to say, remove people when we
Yes,
hear
we do. We do
bad
review.
stories. I, it happens. Okay. It happens. So now let's get into down to business. This number blew my mind, and I just had to put it on here. Um, 52%. That's more than half. It said, I read it, I think it was the Wall Street Journal. I'm sorry I didn't note where I got my source. If it wasn't the Wall Street Journal, I read it in the Inquirer, but I'm pretty sure it was the Wall Street Journal in the real estate section. And it said 52% of seniors say they feel overwhelmed at the thought of selling. I bet a lot of people on this call probably have that feeling. Um, so it's a big number. Brett, I would love you to tell the viewers, like, how do you help relieve them, or help them with that feeling? Like, what do you do to help?
So the whole series, the premise of the ABCs of senior housing is about being proactive, right? Our most successful clients are the ones that are proactive and they plan well in advance, right? The ones that uh, have the most stress and things don't always work out the best are reactive, right? Something happens, right? Someone gets sick, someone falls, whatever, and then they have to move, and there isn't the time frame to prepare. So, but the thought of selling, and I deal with this day in and day out, is it is absolutely overwhelming, right? Because you have a house full of stuff, furniture, um, all kinds of things, and typically you're going to do what's something calling right sizing, right? You're going to go from whatever size house you're in now to whatever that right size house is you need for retirement. And that's what stops people in their tracks every time. I go home, everything sounds great, but I go home and I open up the front door and I have this house full of stuff. What am I going to do with it? Where does it go? How do we handle that? So, what I've created was a very comprehensive system to help people with that stress. And it involves a whole host of different vendors and people we use because it really depends upon what what's in the house. Like, are there antiques? Are there collectibles? I've had houses where they have a collection of frogs, ceramic frogs, like hundreds of them. And we have to figure out if they're not taking them, and the kids typically don't want most of the stuff, especially if it's considered brown wood, right? So if you have mahogany, cherry, walnut, usually the millennials don't like that kind of stuff, right?
Brown is down.
Yeah,
That's
brown
what
is
we hear a
down.
lot. My
But
kids don't want it.
if it's Crate and Barrel, if it's Pottery Barn, if it's, any of these other places, the millennials love that kind of stuff, right? So we have to figure out what to do with it. So some of our vendors, in what Samantha mentioned in our concierge, we use those vendors for helping people that feel overwhelmed with how to solve that issue, which is we have people that do tag sales, right? We have people that we can send stuff to auction. Sometimes they have collectibles, sometimes there's cars. It really depends on what they have, but our job is to make it so that they don't feel overwhelmed with that part of the process. And I can say that the vendors we use in the space understand what that stress is and are very well equipped to handle it and help with, how much stuff do you really need to move? What are you keeping? What are you taking? And what will really fit? Some of it's about floor planning, right? When we sell the house, we do a floor plan of every house we're selling. Sometimes we have to do that for where they're going, right? We make a
Mhm.
floor plan, and when we figure out what things can fit, what cannot fit, and we try to work and try to make it very simple for people so they don't have a lot of stress. So we take that and just handle it for them.
That's a great, this is a good segue, but real quick, I'm going to mention that that's another service that I feel like only you offer. I don't know anyone else that does it, but if we have clients that have now bought a home, we will have a Matterport scan done of the new property as well. So you get that floor plan and you can envision, oh, I want to bring that piano. Where am I going to put it? And it fits. Or will that dresser fit in that room or that closet? Or is my sofa too large? So another good Brett Furman service. But here's a
I was,
segue into mistake number one, which we keep talking about, is waiting too long. I mean, it's true. It's we not everyone. A lot of people really do take Brett's advice and listen to him, but the ones that don't know about him or haven't watched one of our encore presentations, they don't know about this like reactive versus proactive planning. So let's just talk about these couple of points, a little bit more, and then I guess I really wanted you to explain, Brett, like what planning ahead really looks like, which you kind of touched on, but I'll let you elaborate a little more.
all right. So the waiting too long, that's probably, I would say that is the number one mistake that I see most people make, right? They just think the inevitable and they just say, well, we're just gonna give it another year, another 6 months, or another 8 months, or whatever. And they don't get to enjoy their next home, right? Because they wait too long. And it's a complex process, right? So you have to look at, when is the right time, right? And you have to look at your health, you have to look at personal needs. You also want to look at like market conditions, like when is the best time to sell your home, right? Sometimes you don't have the luxury. Sometimes you can't pick the best time. Other clients we have can. And then we look at one of your graphics you have up here, Samantha, is
Mm-hmm.
um,
Absorption.
the absorption kind of like on the middle, at least it's on the middle of my screen. And, it's an analytical approach. So we look to see how long it's going to take the market to absorb or sell a property in a given geographic area. So, this example list, we were just looking at a range of about 100,000, which is very typical. We would, if your home's worth about 1 million, we would look, 1 million to 1,000,001 and see how many homes are currently on the market currently and how many sold in the prior 12 months. Once we know that, we can create this how many days it takes the market to absorb or sell the inventory. What we do know is the month of January, let's say late December, January, February, are typically the lowest months, right? You have very little competition. People typically wait till after the Super Bowl when you have a lot of competition, but that's a really good time if you have the luxury. Again, sometimes you don't.
Yeah, this is great. That's um that's a really important tool that we use. And like you said, if a lot of people will start early and it makes a big difference because you keep running these reports and then you can let them know, okay, now's the time, let's go. And they're ready to list when the market's right.
And that process of, starting early is it gives you the ability if it is you're not going to age in place, right? Because some
Right.
people on this call will elect to age in place, which is
Sure.
fine, right? We can still help you and give you access to vendors in our concierge list. Those that aging in place is not right for them, by starting well in advance, there's a whole bunch of strategies and things we can do, like have a pre-sale home inspection done of your home, right? Figure out what things a buyer would likely look at and decide if it's something we want to take care of in advance, right? When you have time on your side, you can get estimates, more estimates versus doing it reactively at the end of the process when someone buys your home and then do a home inspection. Then you're kind of stuck, right? You don't have time to get estimates. You don't have time to try to get different vendors looking at it. You've probably taken your house off the market during that period. So those clients that have the ability to plan well in advance, that's one of the strategies they could elect to do. And it does have a huge benefit for the seller because it's one less contingency you have to worry about when you're selling your home.
Which leads to mistake number two, skipping the prep work, which is exactly what you're talking about and referring to. So, it makes sense. We have here like clean declutter stage means better showings. That's kind of the general rule of thumb. But Brett will talk about like when he comes to your home and tours it, he will tell you what to invest in for the highest return on investment. Front doors. I know that's your number one, right, Brett? The
Yeah.
front door makes a big difference because it's a first impression.
Yeah, plus the exterior, your landscaping. What do people see when they physically pull up the car, park, and walk to the front of your home, right? That's when decision making starts to happen, and your highest return on your investment is doing work on the exterior of the house. Hands down, you're going to get the highest return. Samantha, you put in, it looks like a couple pictures. Um,
I
of,
love using real life, like
yeah.
actual, things we've shared. And this is from the Ready Set Sell program, which I'm going to let
Okay.
you talk
So,
about a little bit because
yeah,
that's
so
popular.
it's a program we created is we just acquired a lot of equipment that our home sellers needed to get their house ready for sale. And some of it's very specialized and, a little harder to obtain or harder to use. So we have all kinds of equipment and it's free. It's something if somebody's one of our clients, we offer it to them. Some people take advantage of it, others just don't need things. But those that do take advantage, I'll give you my best piece of equipment is sitting on the screen. It's like a little square little box with a bunch of
Fun.
blue dials on it. And that's my magical odor elimination machine. And it works probably better than anything I've ever used. It's really good if your house has, let's say someone in your house was a smoker, right? Or has a pet and
Hmm.
the pet did some, damage. And sometimes those smells are very difficult to get out. So that's the machine we use. We have a client right now that will be putting that in where we're going to be selling the property, and one of the spouses is a heavy, heavy smoker. Um,
We just got it back though because
yeah,
we had a client that rented their home. It was one of their investment properties, and
I
there
forgot.
was
Yeah,
some cooking done, and
yeah,
the smell is just it's in everything. She could not believe how this worked, and full disclosure, you can't have anything living.
yeah,
But it kills mold. I
yeah.
mean, this thing is amazing, but you can't have plants or like animals in the home. So everything has to be out of the property
Or
while it's
people,
running.
people too. No people
Right.
when
No,
you're
no
running it.
humans. We don't want to hurt anybody.
Yeah,
So, but it's great. Like you have so many products. The air mover. I mean, you call us and see if we have it. I bet Brett does.
yeah.
So we have
So
a
it's a
whole
whole
garage.
host. It's just filling my garages with a bunch of equipment.
Yep.
So,
But
um,
people use it. It's
yeah,
great because who wants to go buy that if you only need to use it one time?
yeah.
If Brett has it available, it's yours to borrow. All right, mistake number three. Misunderstanding disclosures. This one hits home for me because I've had an unfortunate experience of someone not being honest on a disclosure on a property I purchased, and thankfully, Brett walked me through it, and he saved the day, and we're good. Everything worked out fine. So, but the it's just I shouldn't say always, often overlooked. Um, but it's legal. It's a legal document that you need to fill out. We are not allowed to fill it out for you as your agent, but we will help you and we will make sure you don't miss any spots. Brett says to be honest. Let's
Yes.
avoid those lawsuits because they can get ugly. But Brett, can you share a little bit about what has to be
Okay.
disclosed?
So my best answer for everyone on the call is, and this is my favorite slogan, it's when in doubt, write it out. So what I mean by that is the purpose of the disclosure is to keep you out of, lawsuits and problems. And the number one area that buyers tend to discover after settlement and can come back to a home seller is the water in the basement. It's like the typical issue. It's the seller that says, "Oh, I never had water in my basement," and then there's a heavy rain, and then the buyer's outside talking to the neighbor,
Mm,
and the neighbor says, he says something like, I have all this water. Oh yeah, the prior owner I know, he used to come to talk to me, and yeah, I know that's been a problem. But then you look at the seller disclosure, and it says no water problems, right? So what I tell everyone is, when in doubt, write it out. It'll never stop a buyer from buying your
right.
home, but it will stop them from coming back to you because you didn't fail to disclose something. So if a tree hit your house, or you had to do you have electrical problems, or you have anything with bad windows, whatever it is, put it on the disclosure. It's just the best advice I could ever give somebody.
Hmm.
And I can't tell you how many times it's in the hundreds of cases where, I go in to talk to a seller and they say, I've got this issue, but the prior person never disclosed it to me. I mean, I hear that continually. So, you know, we're in a litigious society. You just have to be really careful. And my recommendation is just fill it out as best as you can.
Great, great advice. It'll, like you said, it will never come back to hurt you that you were too honest or too truthful in sharing. Okay, number 4. Choosing the wrong help.
Yeah.
This is important because let's face it, we all know a realtor. I mean, everyone knows somebody in real estate. Everyone, oh, my cousin Sally, she said she could sell it or whatever, give me a discount or I mean, we've heard it all. We hear, or my neighbor, she said like she has to list because she's the agent for the neighborhood. Like, no, no, that's not right. So, not all agents are created equal. I said it at the beginning and I'm going to say it again. Choose someone with experience, not because you like them. Choose them based on like their answers to the questions you ask them. You can visit our website and there are tons of resources, just brettfurman.com. There are all of Brett's we have like a Q&A, like he wants you to ask the other agents if you want to interview other people before you decide to hire Brett, and ask these questions because they matter, and it's protecting you. Do you have anything to share about this, Brett?
Oh, I probably could write a whole book on this one. Because I've heard it all, right? Because I've been doing this for 37 years, and I do get a lot of calls where, a property is on the market and it's not sold, and just things are not happening, right? There's mistakes or problems or all kinds of things. So I see it. The one differentiator, and I don't know if it's forthcoming, if I'm covering something, just tell me, Samantha, is
Oh,
we work under the easy exit basis. So for all our clients, who we work with, the only way we work is if you're unhappy with anything we're doing, you have the right to exit with 2 weeks written notice. And we do that because it forces us to perform at a very high level. And what I found is most of the other companies, they're going to try to have you sign a long term and generally don't let you out of their agreement.
no, you're locked in and then you lose either time on the market that you could be for sale or um you I think it's usually a year, right?
Yeah.
They
Yeah, they
get
try
stuck
for
for
a
a
year.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, that's good advice. Now, I have no more mistakes to talk about, but we're going to start with questions. So, I'm going to read the 2 questions I got personally to ask you from your clients. I'm going to ask them, then we'll go through these 3. So we're moving right along. I think we're like a little more than halfway through. So thanks for
And we have a lot more people that have joined since we
Good.
started. I don't know if you're watching the list, so
I
welcome
can't see
everybody.
it. Yeah,
Okay.
I can't see it.
It's
Yeah, thank you
busy.
for
I'm
joining us.
excited.
Um, okay, so the first question was, Brett, do you know someone who installs leaf or gutter guards? And I know that you then shared a couple vendors from the home concierge, but the follow-up was, which option is more economical? And then she shared that there's been a lot of tree debris. She can't afford a new roof. Can this be done without replacing it? Like, that's a good question. People want to know, especially with these wild storms that we've
Yeah.
been having.
So yeah, we for that client, I do think we sent vendors too. One side note is when we do refer people to our clients, we do like to call, I try to call everyone and get feedback because remember when Samantha said earlier, there are people we add to our list. There's
Mhm.
also people we subtract from our list if they don't come when they're supposed to, or their billing isn't right, or their work isn't good, or whatever it is, they get removed. So keep that in
The
mind as
the
well.
non-responsive, we've had that
Yeah.
sometimes. We think we're giving someone else business, and then we hear they didn't even call our customer back, and that's a poor reflection on us, and we do not want that. So please let us know.
But I do like the gutter guards for, especially for our senior home sellers, because what we found is, remember I said sometimes people are reactive. We've had some reactive ones where people were doing leaf cleaning and went up on the ladder, and guess what? They didn't have a good, they had a little bit of a fall, and that can be a little bit dangerous. So,
Yeah.
and again, we also have vendors if it's not cost effective, because right, it depends on how long you're going to be staying in the house, whether it makes sense to put things like leaf gutter guards on. From the selling perspective of the home, you won't get another dime back for whatever that investment was, right?
Mhm.
You can't, there's nothing analytically that I can tell you you're going to get more money for your house because it has gutter guards, right? So it's really for ease and maintenance of that person. But if they don't want to put gutter guards and don't want to clean the roofs, we have people that just all their only business is cleaning um, leaves out of gutters. And I used this one company for my house, which is also a lot of the vendors we've used either personally or clients have used them. So that's kind of where they come from too.
Awesome. Okay, and then the question about selling a home related to repairs. She says, while we all have items on our wish list or repairs or of repair, like upgrades, repairs you want to do, she says, let's face it, they'll never get completed. Can you be specific as to which repairs are the most essential before putting your house on the market? Great question.
And that's kind of a hard one to
Like,
quantify, but
okay.
um, for repairs, I would say like if there's like let's look at the water in the basement situation. If you have water in the basement or um, dark spots on the wall, like I literally just went into one last week, and my advice was I'm gonna give you the handyman, and we're gonna take away all the drywall, like just get everything out
Yep.
because it's going to be it's more cost effective to do that than um, leaving it. And the things I like are landscaping, like the
Hmm.
exterior. I don't necessarily consider that a repair, but it's an enhancement, like so it's first impressions. But
It's
the
worth the
repairs on the
investment.
inside would be things like if your air conditioning or heating isn't working, like you really want to have working services. It's like
Sure.
an expectation of a buyer that when they buy your home, you know,
Every,
things like that are going to work. Um, the repair question really comes down to if the client's doing a pre-sale home inspection. That's how we really more define things because
okay.
we strategically look at the home inspection report and look at how many items were uncovered by the home inspector. And then we figure strategically who is the best vendor that's the lowest cost that can fix the a lot of repairs at one with one visit, right? Because it's more cost effective that
Mhm.
way. Because we have that home inspector come back again to verify the repairs are completed, and that's the version we would give to a home seller.
Or a
So
buyer,
that's,
of
yeah, I
course.
mean a buyer. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's kind of like how we would look at repairs. But if somebody has like one off, like an outlet doesn't work or an appliance doesn't work, we would evaluate it kind of on a case by case basis to see does it really make a difference in, you're going to
In
get
the
your
end.
return fixing it, or you better just disclosing it and say, you know what? All the windows in my house are shot. I know that. I'm just going to sell it with that knowledge. And surprisingly, telling people in advance of an agreement of sale that there are problems, you have a way better chance of getting them to accept that because you're preparing them for the issue in advance instead of
Right.
surprising them and they find out about it at the end.
No, no hidden, nothing, everything's on the table. It's
Yeah.
no hidden surprises. That's good. I remember um there was a seller, I want to say it was like 2 years ago, maybe. And the kitchen was really, it was nice. I mean, it had been done maybe 10 years ago, but the appliances didn't match. And they kept asking you, should I update? Should I update? And you were like, someone's going to come in here and probably renovate this. Don't bother. So like you said, that was a good answer about the case by case. Let Brett come see what you have and he will tell you, he'll give you, even the truth hurts sometimes, but
It does.
he'll tell you.
It does hurt.
Yeah. Okay, so how long should I spend preparing if I've lived there
Ooh,
30 years?
my favorite question, whoever asked that, and that is my most successful clients, without question, start the process a year in advance. So that is because we're getting the house ready, we're doing things. Um, Now, that being said, I just had a client recently where it was a brother that lived in California and the sister was in North Jersey, came into the office. I met them at the house, and mom was just moved to a memory care unit, and the house was full of stuff, right? They literally handed me the keys and said, deal with it, like handle everything. And I stepped in, I literally, and people don't realize this, but I literally did everything.
Mm-hmm.
I sourced all their the kids were allowed to they took whatever they want, which was maybe like
Minimal.
10 items.
Yeah.
So we ended up having a tag sale. We brought the handyman in to fix a bunch of things. We had a tree that was leaning against the house that we had to have taken out. We had to redo the landscaping of the beds. There was a kitchen cabinet that was like, you know, coming off the wall. We had the handyman screw it back in, like stuff like that we did.
Yep.
So we pretty much did a lot of stuff.
Um, I don't know if this is the right time to talk about this, but we've also had things happen once we've been under contract and we're almost to closing
Hmm.
and we had a client that just like ran out of funds and they couldn't get, afford to fix this, but then it wasn't going to close if they didn't. And we actually have some vendors that are willing
Yeah.
to wait for the settlement and then they get paid right from settlement. We can work that into your home sale if you're in a predicament like that. And I feel like that's like when we're talking about the stress and the feeling of being like overwhelmed, like that's a huge relief when you're at that, you're so close to the finish line and then something like that comes up. I mean, I want you to know that that's an option as well.
My other like super strength, if you will, my kryptonite is I have a lot of vendors that we work with, the concierge group, and some of that requires speed, right? Because sometimes people don't plan in advance, right? They don't do it a year, they wait. a week, 2 weeks, right? And then something happens, right? Something like, they have an issue that needs to be solved. I had one, oh, we were going to close, it was, oh my God, this was like maybe a month ago. And I'm thinking that it was raining out. It was a lot of rain, and they did the walkthrough, and on the wall in the bedroom was a stain, a mysterious stain, right? But it was on an exterior wall right by the garage,
Oh,
and the buyer thought that there was water coming through the wall. I literally called one of our vendors at like 1:30 in the afternoon, and I got luck. Also, some of it is luck that he was finishing at like, I think it was like a Friday or something, and it was like he said, I'm done at 3:30. I can meet you at the house."
oh,
He went to the house. But the really cool thing is he appeared with, and I didn't even know he had it on his truck, a moisture meter. So he
mhm.
put the moisture meter up on the wall to figure out, is there a problem? And the answer was no. And it was a girl's bedroom. And the thought was that maybe she used like hand lotion or something, and it splattered on the wall, right? It looked like a water stain, but it absolutely was not. And the wall was, and he ran
Dirty.
this moisture meter across every room, every wall in the house, and into the bathroom around the corner.
Huge
So,
relief.
like, the ability to get someone to respond like that is really helpful. That
Yeah,
someone could come out that quickly. Sometimes it makes a difference between a deal and no deal.
true. I spilled one of those like diffusers with oil, and I knocked it off my dresser, and it like went down. That stain, that doesn't come out. People told me to rub chalk on it,
Yeah.
but at least it wasn't moisture. Like that was great. The next one's a loaded question, but I also
Uh-uh.
feel like it's a case by case. But you can share it. Is it better to renovate or sell as is?
Oh boy. Where do I start on that one?
Do you think it depends on what they want to get
Yeah,
out
and
of
I
it?
see this, I mean, time and time and time again. So it comes down to time. How much time do you have? How much economic resources you have? What's your skill set and interest in doing it? Um, to me, I love I love fixing things up and renovate. I've moved, I don't know how many times. That's a whole nother webinar.
Where's
Uh,
Lisa? Where's your wife?
yeah,
She loves
she's in
it
the other
too, but
room. But so like to me, I like fixing things, and I have access to a lot of different vendors to do things. But it depends on time, and then what we really look is we do analytics to figure that out. And the analytics are, what would it be worth if it was all finished, right? What's the finished value once you complete everything? What's the value in its current state? And do you have the energy, the emotional energy, the economic resources to do that? And do you have the time, right? If you're doing renovation, it takes, time. We have one that we recently sold that fell right into that category, and the seller is in their 90s, said, it just needs to be, let's just sell it the way it is. And then we have access to lots of different builders and people like that. And that's who ended up buying the house, and they're going to fix it up.
yeah. Okay. How about this next one? What are the most common buyer red flags? Now I'm not sure what
What
the
that question
intent.
means, huh?
Yeah. I'm wondering if they mean what are the most common buyer red flags?
Like flags of like when they're buying something that they may, my interpretation is they're buying something, and maybe they're is it the right house? Is there some kind of problem? Did someone conceal something?
Yeah.
Um, or is it geographical? Like, is it along a turnpike or a highway, um, what kinds of things should they look out for, maybe?
If whoever asked us that question,
Yeah.
or if I can go
Yeah, if
back and
you
figure
could.
out who it was, maybe I can get the answer, and then we'll
Okay.
do a follow up, or
Okay.
we can
All right.
post it
That's
and
fine.
like
I'm
yeah,
good. You can go.
that's
You
a
can
good
move on
question.
because I'm
Yeah,
not
okay.
sure.
So, okay, Brett, I'm gonna put this QR code if you joined us late. We had this up before, but this is just you can scan this QR code and get your home value. So, this was really hard to get Brett to help me narrow down his whatever top 3 tips, to sell with confidence, but um I'm sorry that I'm trying to move us, but start the conversation early. Yes, we've told you. I mean, I wish Michelle was on only because she could testify that you have literally had people sign a listing contract and they're only legally they only go for 1 year, and after a year you have to get it a new one signed. We've had to
Updated.
do that, like it
Yes.
happens,
Yeah.
but it's because people, his Brett's clients, started so early and listened to him, and okay, so the year went by, then when they were ready that we get a new one signed, and then we hit the market and sell.
And one thing about that, Samantha, is like legally the way real estate law and all works is that I really shouldn't be helping people do things like, or certain
Right.
advice things or not without having some type of representation. Like that's the only reason that it's
You get it.
important, just
Yes.
even if it's a year in advance. Just I don't start the like so people understand the days on the market do not toll until someone says go.
Yep.
Go means the house is
So
ready.
ready.
You've staged it. It's maybe had a home inspection. We've done the 3D video. We did the droning of it. We took pictures. We created a website. We did a digital marketing program. I mean, I could direct mail programs, which are like accelerating our business right now for our sellers. We're
Yeah.
able to target market and find who our likely buyer is by targeting with use of digital direct mail cards, which are really good.
Yeah, the no pressure, the no commitment, the just info, that's referring to this, this QR code and the home value, but honestly it's how we approach things. I mean, the hiring a team that takes care of everything, we call it our all-inclusive home marketing program. It really is all inclusive. Like, I can't tell you how many people have given Brett the keys, really, and just
Oh, yes.
then they move on with their lives and Brett takes it and they are thrilled with the outcome.
Oh,
So
Samantha, one
yeah,
just came, I just thought of one really, really
yeah.
good example. Um, we had a home seller and they were in Ohio and one of their family members had some significant health challenges.
Yeah,
So they had this Hoyer lift.
I
These are like
remember.
lifts to help get someone out of a bed. And we even source and figure out like what to do with stuff. It's not like we're just going to throw away stuff, right? We want to make sure it has a happy place to go. It doesn't end up in the dump.
Mhm.
So we have not only like tag sales and all this, I forgot we have um, people of the community of need, right, that need things. So we work with some institutions that have access to people of need, and we try to give stuff to people that work. That Hoyer lift is a great example. It went to Surrey Services, which is an organization that I feel very strongly about because it helps a lot my senior population and we were able to give it as a donation, and
Mhm.
the home seller got a tax, receipt, and
Right
they
up.
could
Mhm.
write it on their, tax return.
Same with the snow blower for the church. We
Oh
just
yeah, so we
someone
just did that.
the seller
What
moved
was
to
we just did
California
that one?
where luckily they don't have
Oh,
snow.
the one in I know
So
which one. Yeah, we just
yeah.
and
So
that was in the hottest month of the.
I
It
know
was like last month, or it was like 100
no
degrees.
nobody's thinking about
Yeah,
snow in
but we
July, but
were.
they were,
We
and it
found
was
a home for that snow blower.
nice. So, all right, resources and next steps. I have Brett's book here. This is the new book, which you can download for free on our website. He has a copy there. He has a hard copy with him. The
Oh, you
only
have
way
a
to sell
picture. I
your
didn't.
home.
Okay, thanks.
You should do the home value that we told you, the estimate, just to get an idea. Play with that sliding scale. You know your home better than anyone else. So, like, what needs improving or what's totally renovated and top of the line. Read the book. I'm telling you, it's an easy read and it's loaded with tons of resourceful information. And then watch the recordings, our ABCs of senior housing presentations. Watch them because there's so much information. You can skip ahead. You can find, um, you can find the answers to the important things you want to know about. Do you have anything else you want to add, Brett, for this?
Yeah, we have two more ABCs of senior housing. The one I'm so excited, like I can't wait for our September guest because you know how early on in the presentation, Samantha asked me a question about um, what to do with all your stuff, the stress. This is like a psychologist, I think. He wrote like a whole series of books on the topic.
Two of them.
And so
Yeah.
and he's joining us in September. I'm not sure when, but Samantha.
It's September 6th.
Okay.
It's always on Saturday mornings, 10 o'clock. September 6th. We are calling it Navigating the Emotional Side of Downsizing.
And then we have one the following month, right?
Yes.
About fraud. Is it senior
No,
fraud? Is that?
no, that one's going to be
Oh,
scheduled
sorry.
sorry about that. Yep. It was supposed to be. We changed it because October is Fire Safety Month.
Oh,
I have Chief McGuire from Radnor Fire Department, Senior Safety, Fire Prevention, and Emergency Readiness at Home. And some of the things we'll talk about are making sure your house numbers are visible in case of an emergency, making sure you're not up on the ladder. Once again, don't you get up there changing those batteries in your smoke detector and
call one of our handyman. We have
yeah,
people that will do that gladly.
there's
Any of that, anything like that.
yep, there's tons of yeah, so um and then we want to stay connected with you. So please um you know you can go to our website. You can search for Brett Furman or Brett Furman Group on any social media channels, whatever you use. But if you go to the website, brettfurman.com, there's links at the top to each of, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, our Google My Business page where you can read the reviews that clients have given him. So that's that. I think yeah. So now it's your turn for the people that have stayed with us. I know we have about 4 minutes left, maybe, well, three,
We have a
but
lot of
we can
people
keep
on,
going.
Samantha. There's
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
people on. Like this is a
Good.
big, and it's
What
like,
else do you want to know? Like
yeah.
now it's your turn. Ask us questions. I'm hoping I can see the Q&A, but Brett, you said you can see
Okay.
it if there are any questions.
Okay.
Um, and then there's our team again. So there's, Brett, me, Brent, and Michelle. Sorry that I say Brent's name like that, but sometimes when I say Brett and Brent, you can't tell what I'm saying. So I always emphasize it.
Okay.
Um,
I just got a question,
yeah,
Samantha.
go for it.
The person wants to know, like, what are these companies that like we buy homes? Like, are they for
Oh,
real? Are they not? And how does it work? Okay, so the answer kind of goes back to what we were talking about, these iBuyers. They're basically like there's iBuyers, and these are people that invest in homes and they're either going to fix them up and turn them and resell them again for a profit, or they're going to hold them for rental. They're going to buy these houses, and there's a whole bunch of these companies. Some of them are very heavily capitalized, I was saying earlier, and some of them are just like a one-off investor person that's going to buy your home. And you have to be careful, like really careful if you're considering that. Again, it doesn't necessarily make best sense for everyone, but you know, uh, I just say that they're real companies, but again, they have to make a profit, so you're not
Right,
always getting the most amount of money for your house. Okay.
right,
Oh, I
right.
have another
Good one.
question. Hold on,
Oh, good.
Samantha.
Okay.
Oh, so someone wanted to know about who does a pre-sale home inspection and how does that work?
Good
So
question.
the pre-sale home inspection, is something you do in advance of selling your home, right? It's a real inspection, just like if you were going to buy your home, you would do an inspection. And they're going to come out and they're going to look at your heater and your air conditioning and your roof and your attic and your the things they don't look at would be they typically don't look for environmental things like radon or um, things like that. I mean, if they see something, they'll call it out. And same on like structural. They could say, "Oh, you have a crack in your foundation,
Yeah.
but it's above my scope. I want you to have a structural person look at that, structural engineer, right?" So they don't do that. But when you are doing inspection, you want a, or a designated, there are these two national um,
Sure.
agencies. One's called PABI and one's called ASHI. ASHI's the one I prefer. It's the American Society of Home Inspectors, I think international. And that is, they have a code of ethics. They have to have done so many inspections. They can't fix something. They can't come into your house and say, aha, your roof's bad, and then hand you their roof card and say, I'm a roofer, I'll fix it for you. So that's a conflict. So those are that's who I'd recommend.
Nice.
Trying to see if I have anything else.
Yeah, and if there's other questions anyone has, they can always reach out.
Um,
Um,
I'm just looking. I don't
that's
see anything
great. Yeah,
else.
I just can't see it, so sorry that I can't see it. I just want you to know though, as a team, like Brett tries to be available 24/7, and when he isn't, because he is human, and
Mhm.
sometimes he can't answer the phone, that Michelle or I will pick up and but all of us we communicate, we support each other, we try to we meet regularly, we review all of like our listings and sales, like we all have things happening going on, and we share one goal, and it's important. It's that the best possible outcome, whatever that is, whether you're buying, selling, um or just needed help. We want the best for our clients. So we hope today provided that for you.
This was exciting, Samantha. I'm not used to being on the spot like this, but it was fun. I really
I
enjoyed this one.
I think you did great. I think you did really well. We have a handout that you'll receive
Oh, yeah,
um when I say, oh, sorry, I have my blur background on, but there's tips,
I have.
selling with confidence, avoiding common mistakes. We have like tips. I think there's 10. Yeah, you gave 10 tips. I'm going to share that with everyone. Oh yeah, you have, that's it. Sorry. Thanks for sharing. But we'll send that. It's a PDF and you can print that out and use it as a little checklist when you're ready.
Oh, Samantha, do
Yeah.
you still send out the like where they tell
Oh,
us
the
what
a
changes they want to
survey?
make or survey? Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
that's
yeah.
it.
You will get good reminder. Thank you. You're going to get a survey at the end of this. So if you hop
Okay.
off, I believe it's a pop-up on your screen. We really, really, really appreciate you taking the time to fill it out. I promise it's not too many questions, and it's also your chance to ask us questions. Give us suggestions. We love,
Yeah.
like, this was my suggestion to do this today, that I got to ask Brett questions,
Wasn't
but
me.
I really, really thought it was important. And it's nice to see you in a different, you know, role sort of. So, I feel like you said, we could go on and talk about all different, real estate subject matter, but any more questions?
No, that's it.
All right, we did it. We
Wow,
went
you're right on time too. I'm
like
impressed. You
I
did better
am
than me.
too. I am too. I was nervous. Like, we like to talk about it because it's our passion, but this was great. I hope everyone has a great Saturday and
Yeah.
enjoys the weekend. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Samantha, for hosting. Thank you.
Thanks for letting me.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.